What's up, everybody? This is Donte Savage, CEO of Prolinked, and you're listening to the Prolinked Podcast, the show that connects the sports industry all around the world. How you doing, Eelco?
Yeah, good. All good. I just went specially to the hairdresser to put on your screen.
No, definitely. We got the same problem. I'm trying to pronounce it. I'm trying to pronounce your last name. How do you say your last name again?
If you say it like in my language, it would be Schattorie.
Schattorie.
No, Schattorie. It's how I explain. Yeah, in the language we have that sound, but Schattorie or all fine. All
Okay.
good.
All right, Mr. Schattorie. Yeah. No, it's definitely a pleasure to meet you for the first time. You know, my name is Donte Savage. Wanted to tell everybody welcome to the Prolinked Podcast. We got Eelco Schattorie that's coming in from Saudi Arabia. Appreciate you giving us the time and the efforts to come here and be here on the show. And I just want to thank the viewers that come on here and listening to this podcast. A little bit about Eelco Schattorie. He's a professional UEFA head coach out there in Saudi Arabia for Safa football club in Saudi Arabia in their Division One league soccer team. And you know we brought him on the show today to get some advice as far as sports technology. And just also voice his opinion, but also we're going to talk about, the pros and cons of sports technology and AI and how AI sports will help, and how was the industry different before computer technology, and what are the changes that we see now. And we're going to be talking about what are some of the changes that you would like to see changed in the soccer industry. So just a small introduction. We want to talk to Mr. Eelco. Like, where did your soccer process start in your younger years?
All right, let's first go a little bit back to the introduction, because there are some changes. That means currently, right now, I'm in Oman. Oman is like, that's beside Dubai.
Okay.
My last club was Safa in Saudi Arabia, correct? Mm-hmm. But I left this club not too long ago because they had big financial problems, and I'm not going to work for a long time without getting paid.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
At the moment I'm enjoying my free time and actually helping you out. And
thank you. I appreciate it.
To have a nice chat about the football. All right, my history. I'm from the Netherlands, Holland. Mm-hmm. Basically, my football career started as any young kid in Holland at 6-7 years old.
Okay.
Every small village has a football club. You join the football club, or soccer, as you say it. I got recruited at an age of 10, 11, for a professional team, local professional team in the south of Holland. My father didn't let me go right away. He thought I was still too young. Physically, I was still 16 years old. I was like skinny and tiny, but very skillful.
Yes. Nice.
So the year after I joined this football club, Fortuna Sittard. They are currently also playing in the highest division.
Okay.
And stayed there till I was 18. So did the whole youth education.
Definitely.
Already participated with the first team. Mm-hmm. I was a very, very skilled wing player.
Okay. So you play more on the outside, correct? Yes. A lot of people don't understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what does it mean? I was very creative, adventurous, but at the same time, while joining the first team or already training with the first team, sometimes I had a very serious. My mother committed suicide, and that my whole career on sidetrack. That is not an excuse, as in like, because that's why I never reached the highest height in playing. But in the next 3 years, I suffered a lot. I still played semi-professional in Belgium, But at a certain point, I was 21, 22.
Uh-huh.
I didn't quit. I didn't quit football, but at the same time, I was doing a sports university in Holland, and already went into coaching. Had an internship because you have to do that for the university, and through that, I basically rolled into coaching and became a professional coach eventually.
Okay.
So that's a little bit in a nutshell my career.
Yeah.
That took quite a big turn. So at age 22, I joined as an assistant coach for the first team, VVV Venlo. They are playing now in like a second division. They go up, they go down. Stay there for 11 years, and the head coach at that time, he left halfway the season to the Middle East, to Abu Dhabi, the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. And the season after, he asked me if I could join him as an assistant. I joined him. And basically, in that same year, I met my wife. My wife is Egyptian, and it's her fault that I get stuck here. So for the last, is it now almost 22 years already, I think. I'm in the Middle East and Asia.
Got you, Middle East Asia. Now that's cool. And then, like the second question I was going to ask you, did you have any roadblocks or any, the journey becoming as a coach? But you already explained that to us about your mother. Sorry for hearing about that and whatnot, because I definitely can relate to you, because my father, he passed away when I was 23, right when I made it to the NFL. He passed away when I was probably like a year and a half after. So kind of, I understand exactly where you're coming from. You see what I'm saying? So like,
look at the way I see it, because I know that there is a lot of top sport athletes, whatever sport it is. If you look at their parental background or their parents who are growing up, a lot of them either lost a father or a mother many times.
Yeah.
In my case, it I always try to see it in a positive. Sounds weird, but what I mean is, it shaped me as a person on so many levels. To the positive. Go up faster. You have to take care of yourself, etc. But in my case, mentally at that time, I was not able to cope with it. It was not for me. Sometimes for players or for athletes, it's a way out. Like you forget about it when you're on the field. But I didn't have that.
Yeah, so it didn't translate over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And, But it brought me onto another path, and I'm happy where I am now, and still got a career in football.
Got you. Definitely, and congratulations on that. And then also, when did you know when you had a breakthrough coming, and do you remember the location where it happened? Like, so far as like in your career, because I know sometimes you have to go that struggle a little bit.
There are, if you look at it as a player, I do remember. When I come from a little village, little town, where 8,000 people live.
Wow.
And you're easily the talk of the town. A guy who is he really is talented.
Yeah.
So then also mentally you develop a attitude of I'm the best.
Yeah.
But once you suddenly get to on a higher level, when I went to the professional team, you suddenly see like, hey, but still because of my qualities, and I don't mean it in an arrogant way. I was very talented.
Yeah.
You still stand out. My biggest challenge at that time was, not getting all the time compliments when you're doing well.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, I learned how to deal with that. And I think this was around age 16, 17. That's when I was a point when you get invited for the first team.
Yeah.
That was my first indicator. Hey, this is a big chance for changing your life to become a professional football player.
Exactly.
But I explained, where basically the thing went wrong. As a coach, at age 24, I was the youngest coach in Holland. First of all, at 28, I was the youngest coach ever to obtain the UEFA Pro license.
Okay.
But at age 24, I already took over the first team because one of the coaches he left. This was in December somewhere, halfway season, and you call that interim? Yeah, interim coach. I became
Intern, yeah.
coach. Yes, at age 23. I'm still at that club. The only undefeated coach. 3 games, 2 win and 1 draw. Still in history. But at that time, I knew, hey, I'm good at this. I have a strong personality. I don't let somebody take shit. I don't let somebody push me in a corner.
Yeah.
I have a clear opinion. That was another indicator, like, hey, this is also a good point for me in my career that I'm able to get good at this. So these are 2 indicators in my career.
Definitely, because like
player and as a
because you got a lot of life experience, but you also have a lot of field experience as well. So I think that's the biggest thing with coaches is like sometimes I don't like when I say organizations bring coaches in that don't have any field experience. Sometimes I just feel like that's like a slap in the face to a lot of different coaches, especially that have been playing on the field and just have that experience, because sometimes it's hard to relate to a player if you never played the game before, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think
absolutely true.
Yeah, no, definitely. Cause they do it in football too, as well. Like you bring a couple numbers guys in there and it's like, hey, like you don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just see it from a statistical analytic standpoint. So yeah, I understand.
Theoretical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the thing is that I would like to respond to that part is that, to be honest, look, if you play the game on the highest level, if you encountered the stress, the criticism, the intensity, etc., it always gives you an advantage. It's logic.
Definitely. You use that negative as a positive.
Yeah,
it can push.
But there are plenty of examples of coaches who didn't play on the highest level who are still good coaches. For me, the key thing is, and this is what I always
got you.
What I always hold on to. First of all, look, if you don't have any technical skills to demonstrate something, in this case in soccer and football, I don't think you can be a good coach.
Got you.
You need to have some skill to show like what you want. Secondly, if you understand the concepts of American football, of whatever sport is, if you understand the concept and you can actually translate them in the training, you can explain it, players will listen to you.
Yeah.
But if you just keep in general explaining like, okay, guys, we need to work harder and only on attitude, but not on technical details or whatever, they will not listen to you.
Yeah, because you're not helping their game at all. Like you
need to when there's a problem, you need to hand solutions.
Gotcha.
And solution does not in any sport. Solution does not mean right away it works, but if you can make somebody make small steps forward, and he's working with the solution you hand him, and he sees there is progression there, they will listen to you. 100%.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's a good thing. And let me ask you a question. How did the soccer business affect your life and your family's life after going through that process? Like, was it a good thing or was it a bad thing? Did it put stress on you, or how did it help when you started moving up the ranks?
When I was younger, not a big deal. The only thing is like my parents were very young when they got me. My mother was 18 and my father was 20. So they were still basically teenagers when I was born. So I grew up with my parents, but most of the time spent time with my grandmother, to be honest, because my parents were either out. But that was never an issue regarding family-wise, me playing football. My father always came to all my games and followed it. But now, in this case, in professional football as a coach, it has a huge impact on the family. I have a son who is 18. But because of my, it's not like I stay in one country and I live in Oman. Okay. My wife has a business here. But as you said, I'm in the introduction. My last club was in Saudi Arabia. I worked in Africa, even in Ghana. I've been for a year. I worked for Red Bull Salzburg. They have an academy there.
Gotcha.
I've been all over the place. So moving,
Mhm.
my family will stay. They will not come with me. So that will put stress on it. That's for sure. Especially when you can't see your kid, when you can't see your wife. That's not an ideal situation for sure.
Yeah, I know. Like it's because the thing about is like when seeing the coaches when I was playing football. You know, a lot of times, you know, when we were playing football, like the coaches, when they get fired or something, they got to just pack up and leave. And then now, like the wife and the kids got to move schools and things. It's kind of like reminds me like like a military family, because military family always has to get up and go.
You mentioned military. There is an American base in Bahrain.
Okay.
Bahrain, there's an American base, and actually, that was my first head coach job here in the Middle East, was in Bahrain.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, what was it, 3 months, I think. My son was just born,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife was with me. And after 3 months, just out of the blue, suddenly they kicked me out.
Yeah.
And then you have to pack up
and go. You know, like, because I know like a lot of situations, like especially when I was playing sports, a lot of like playing football actually, because my experience came from a lot of it playing football, but now I do play soccer actually, and I play on the team. But my first introduction to that, like far as the business standpoint, is when my rookie year, I come up to the facilities, I'm trying to get in, like they had turned off my codes. Like I walk in there, I ain't got no locker no more. It's just like, you know, and now you got to just hop on a plane. You got like 2 hours to leave, and then, you know, if they call you back, they call you back. But that's just how it is. And a lot of people don't understand that, especially the younger guys coming in college, because college is just a recruiting process, and you're gonna stay there for the next 4 years. Or now, you know, they got a transfer portal, so now you can go whatever team, just as long as that team that wants to pick you up. So I think that's a lot different because with the NCAA, because it's before you just had to stay there, and then if you want to transfer schools, you'll lose a year. And so now when I look at the soccer process, the football process, but with the American sports, you guys start a lot started different. You know, you guys start at a younger age. You guys have academies, so you guys go to school in those academies and work on being a soccer player, or, you know, work on being a volleyball player. Like, it's very direct on what you guys do. Like, so if you're a track athlete, you go to this school. If you go to, you know, like it's more in the States, everybody's just together, and then you might have a coach coaching through 2 or 3 different sports. You know, you don't have like specialist coaches that like your track, that's it. Your soccer, that's it. You know, like, so it's a lot of roadblocks. That's why I say a lot more players when it comes to football. You guys are a lot more skilled in the foreign countries around the United States, because to be honest, we're kind of back behind the learning curve, because you guys' learning curve is a lot higher and is a lot more technical, and you guys use a lot more sports technology into your sports as well. So that's one thing that I've seen.
The thing is, I really always admired. I would love to work in the US, to be honest. Only for one reason, is the sports mentality. It's
Exactly.
And that is something. Look, it doesn't. You don't necessarily have to relate it to sports in general.
Yeah.
If you want to reach anything in life, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
You can have skills. You can have an amazing talent, but the mindset is and that I always admired in American sports. One of the most beautiful documentaries I saw with Michael Jordan, how they show in the how he trained and how they are confronting each other, just the professional attitude. So I'm not talking about skills, I'm not talking about tactical stuff, just the sports.
Just how we
admired.
Yeah, how we approach ourselves, like real business. You know, you got to come in there with the suit, tie, but also just keep it business professional as well. Yeah, definitely. You know, because the competitiveness is like the competitiveness is like very high, just depending on what sport you play. Like, you play basketball, is going to be a lot higher than if you play football. So it's a sometimes it feel like a rat race sometimes, but you know, like if you believe in yourself, I tell kids, if you believe in yourself, you can make it. Because me coming out of high school, I wasn't highly recruited. I was a 2-star athlete. What else? I had offers to different schools and whatnot, but the thing about it is I didn't take care of my grades. So I went to military school. So I went to a prep school.
Okay.
And when I went to prep school, I was the only player that the school ever recruited from the West Coast. And then
Okay.
I went back east, and all the top football players in the United States are usually back east and down south. So I'm coming into a whole different type of realm. And, I held my own, got my scholarship. I started there. And, like, it just, to be honest, like I said, it's all about the mindset. You can go anywhere. If you can compete, you can compete. It don't matter where you come from. That's just how it is. So, like,
Where are you now, if I may ask? Which part of America are you?
I'm in right now I'm back home in Portland, Oregon. But I lived
Okay.
all over the United States playing football. So, like, I didn't travel
I've
to
been
the
4
state
times.
4 times.
Yeah,
See,
2 times in the West and 2 times in the South.
yeah, see,
Sorry, 2 times in the West and 2 times in the East.
yeah,
I had a great time.
my goal is to get out and see the other continents. That's my goal, because I've been everywhere in the
Alright.
States, so it's all good.
Okay.
And then let me see, when did you see technology come into effect in the soccer industry?
Look, there's one of the things. There's a very you see it in modern life, like with AI and technology will be implemented everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, football or soccer is a game that has such a high complexity to it that the variables of it going wrong are very high.
Gotcha.
So what does it mean? You can't. There is not one coach in the world who win all the games because he has a certain formula. And I always compare it with, let's say you make tomato soup, and I make it very simple to understand. You need a few tomatoes, you need some water, you need some sugar, mix it, you have tomato soup.
Yeah.
A top chef, he could basically every single time recreate the same tomato soup. There could be a small difference. In football, there's no formula where we say if we do this, this, and this,
It's gonna work.
these are the ingredients, and we will have impossible.
Exactly.
So what does it mean if you apply technology to football by analyzing it or trying to influence it? The only area where I say it can be really effective or could have use is the physical part.
Gotcha.
So if you can work with data that says, and I look especially in how do players recover. There are 2 things I'm interested in football physically. That is, can I make more sprints? Let's say in one given game, you made 20 sprints, 30 sprints, maximum sprints. Can I make it for the next game 2 more? And how to do that is highly complex. That is not easy. The same thing is, and you see that now in the modern game, because they're playing so many games, the big teams, how do you recover? How do you know that the player is fully recovered? All the rest, when you talk about technology, I thought about myself, I'm pretty good in analyzing. But analyzing for me means seeing the big picture, recognizing patterns. I thought about, can I get somebody on board with me and create an AI program that watch the game and analyze it for me? But I can almost guarantee you that's impossible.
Yeah.
What I mean by impossible, that it becomes functional. And I will give you an example. You have a lot of data after the game. They wear the GPS systems, like how much you run, how many meters, etc.
Yeah.
And modern coaches or modern people or people who not really understand football, they come with, this guy run 100 meters less than last game. I'll just say something.
Yeah.
But in the same game, he played a much better game because he was positionally way smarter.
Gotcha.
So data says what happened, but not why it happens. So technology in soccer is, I'm not against it, but it's also for me a big question mark.
Gotcha. All right. And then, we got some last questions. We got some small portion of the questions. Definitely going to talk about more about AI technology, but we just want to take, it's called the Prolinked scores and predictions. So basically I have the quarterfinal matchups for the Europa League and the Champions League quarterfinals. And I just want to see what your scores and predictions how the game is going. So we're just gonna go down the list. So we got Europa League. So we got Tottenham versus Frankfurt. So how do you think that game is going to come out? Because I want to hear coaches, you know,
Frankfurt.
huh?
Do I need to give the score or who only wins?
You could give win and who.
Yeah, Frankfurt will win.
Frankfurt.
Tottenham is absolutely in a very difficult position in the way they defend. They're not a cohesive team. They have injuries. So my money is on Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, all right. And then what score do you think it's going to be?
2-0.
2-0, all right. And then we got Bodo Glimt versus Lazio.
First team I don't know much about. I put money on Lazio.
Lazio score?
3-1.
Okay. And then we have so we got Lyon versus Man United.
That's a difficult one. It's a very difficult because but I'll put it on Lyon.
Lyon? What's the score?
Yes. 2-1.
2-1 Lazio. Lyon. All right. And then we have Athletic Club versus the Rangers.
Atletico.
What's
2-0.
2-0. All right.
0.
Atletico. And then as far as Champions League, Arsenal versus Real Madrid.
Madrid 2-0.
2-0. All right. Paris, PSG versus Aston Villa.
PSG 2-1.
2-1.
I think PSG they eventually going to win it, but they deserve to win. They are the team who are really. There are two teams at this moment that I really like. It is PSG and Barcelona. They play the best football, best structured, best organized, best entertaining. So in this case, I put my money on PSG.
All right, cool. We're gonna run through this. We got 10 more minutes, but last one is let's just get the scores. Barcelona and Dortmund, and then Bayern Munich and Inter Milan.
Barcelona 3-0. Inter Milan 2-1.
2-1. All right, cool. So we got the last questions right here. So do you think AI technology is going to change the sports industry, and how is it going to change in the long run?
Changes all life, and not to become religious, but I even see AI taking over for people that it's going to be a god. That got all the answers, and yeah, I'm a bit skeptical and a bit scared for that also, by the way.
Yeah.
Why? Because you don't know who creates the AI and which algorithm do they put in it that makes you want to see answers that they want you to see.
Oh, got you.
I had a few times questions on AI where I thought of, hey, that is not a correct answer, where I say you're open-minded.
Looking at a logical standpoint, yeah.
You know, AI on itself is, of course, fantastic because human beings are not able to comprehend everything. And in just very small seconds, it puts so much information into a structure to answer.
Gotcha.
So into sports, the beauty of sports for me is certain emotion and mistakes, the mistakes that are made. And with AI, same what happens now with the VAR system. I don't know if you're a little bit know what it's about. So that means in modern soccer, modern football, they have a VAR system.
Oh yeah, VAR. Yeah, I know exactly what that is. Yeah.
VAR. Yes.
Yeah.
There is still
trying to.
That's what I try to explain. I will give you a very simple example. An offside situation is very, very simple. There cannot be discussion about offside simply because of technology. Putting the line, yes. But when it comes to making a handsball, it's an interpretation. They say that you need to keep your arms straight beside your body, and it will not be hands. But defending, if I'm defending, I move my arms to balance out.
Yeah.
If the ball touches here, my arm, and I don't do it on purpose, and still get a handsball or a penalty because of that. Yeah, that's and sometimes the referee he gives penalty and the other one doesn't. So it's an interpretation.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right.
So same with AI into sports.
It needs to
especially
interpret
with football.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, there are things to interpret it.
Yeah. No. And then what would be effective if the soccer industry was centralized on two platforms for the youth recruits and the pro players in soccer industry careers? So just saying, like, AI technology, Prolinked actually is AI technology that help coaches scout and scout players to make their perfect team and see all their attributes and far as their career and see their career going up from youth to adulthood. But will it be a lot better for coaches to see more recruits all at one time on two different platforms, one for the youth and one for pro players?
It can filter out, of course. It can with the amount of information, but I guarantee you, and I'm going to be arrogant now.
Yes, sir.
I will put an AI against my eye for scouting certain talent of a player. Recruitment, it doesn't matter if it comes to sports.
Gotcha.
Recruitment is 50% of any occupation, any job, finding the right people with the right skills. But to see that,
it's different.
That is a skill on itself.
Definitely.
And an AI doing that skill, I would be very, very interested. What's the English word for that? The parameters, like what you put inside
the AI.
Yes, because you need to connect certain things, and sometimes it's feeling. So there are so many players I know who were rated down, but suddenly
raised back
still
up,
reach the top. Yeah.
Got you. I got
so
5.
It's very tricky.
Got you. I got 5 more minutes. How would let's see. I'm gonna choose one. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like you miss out on a lot of players since you are just stationed in one country? Like, do you feel like that you missed out on like finding that right player if you would have been over, if you knew more information about people and like players in Africa or Switzerland or things like that to make your team better and help you, build up your career?
Yeah. No, very simple. I worked in Africa.
Okay.
I worked in Ghana, and it was the best time of my life as in being a coach. What does it mean? I made so much progress with these guys in just 2 months. Now I will get to the point because of their talent, etc. But till now, there is not one African country who ever win the World Cup.
Yeah.
Why? Because the structure of African sports is not on that level.
It's very
so you will also
too. Yeah.
Also, so you will always miss out on certain talents because you can't. For instance, I work for a company where I help them out. They have a platform where they can upload games from Africa, so you can scout on that platform.
Gotcha.
But if you watch the game, if you watch the video, it's like blurry and bad. So you will miss out for sure on so many players. But at the same time, that's the beauty of sports also.
Exactly. And then one more question. We got a couple more minutes. How would the industry change if there was a platform that helped with the transfer market by taking all the transactions through the platform and where fans can see live bidding and updates where players are getting signed and see where the players' actual stock is?
That's a bit, to me, no supporter or no public. It's a business.
Gotcha.
Of if I as a club want to recruit a player, it's our business. Per se, I'm not gonna go to a law firm and ask like the people they are recruiting. Like I need to know like how much they are earning or whatever the transfer market is between one law firm and the other.
Yeah,
not nobody's business. So
gotcha.
And these things are like very old fashioned. Just leave it.
Yeah, just leave it how it is. Got you. Okay. All right. And then also, do you think FIFA needs to collaborate with AI companies to make it easier to track of the transaction process and the safety of agents and players to the clients on a bigger scale? Because I know you got a lot of guys that say that they FIFA agents or say that they coaches, but they're really not coaches and they don't have the certification.
Yeah, no, there on that level there are a lot of tricky business going on under the table. So
yeah,
if you could somehow regulate it in a way that
Centralize it.
becomes honest, then yes, that would always be great.
No, definitely. And the plus is like give you guys a lot of leeway and make it a lot easier for finding players, because you know some people could say this or say that, and then all of a sudden it just tanked through.
I know some football federations who people who never played football, but they are in the football federation who decide which coach comes in unless they pay them.
So yes,
these things I always want to stay away from. That's not sports.
No, definitely. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming through today, Mr. Eelco. And definitely we'll stay in touch and whatnot. And I thank you. I appreciate it. I know it's probably late out there. You ready to go to bed, but I appreciate the time.
Not yet.
No, I appreciate the time, and I appreciate the viewers watching the Prolinked Podcast today. This is episode 2, and we're going to tap out, and I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace. Talk to you later. All right. Take care. You have listened to the Prolinked Podcast with your host, Donte Savage. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and check out our sports memorabilia merchandise on shopprolinked.com. Thanks for listening.